Buenas noches, and disculpa, meu espanhol es not muy bueno. Vou falar em inglês. I'm from Brazil, and I've been doing companies since I was 17. I love building companies. I worked for 4 startups, and spent some time in the Silicon Valley. One of my companies, I was working in the United States. And I have a career that is full of failures and also full of successes. So I wanted to take 10 minutes to talk to you about why failing is good. And before I do that, I wanted to ask a question. Can you please raise your hand if you ride a bicycle? Everyone that can ride a bicycle, please raise your hands. Keep your hands up, please. Just keep it. And keep it up if you can ride a bicycle and you never felt. Right? That's why failing is good. That's how humans learn. That's how we learn how to do things we didn't know before, is by failing. So I'm going to talk about my career and what I failed and what I learned from that. Okay? My first company when I was 17 was a digital agency that pretty much did everything for everybody. So if you wanted a website, we did a website. If you wanted custom software, we did custom software. Email newsletters, marketing campaigns, everything. Just if you come and you say I need it, we would do it, right? We had no judgment at all. Just ask and we'll do it. And it failed really, really, really bad. Because if you do everything, you don't do anything well. And you're not recognized by anyone, by any specialty. You're just a guy that is trying to get money doing anything. The only thing we could sell was, small websites and small email campaigns at a very low price. I had no differentiation. See, I was just like dozens and dozens of companies in Brazil. So what I learned from that, and this was one of the most important lessons of my career, is don't start a company, don't start a business if you don't have a passion. If you don't have something that keeps you awake at night, that you really love, don't start a company because it will be mediocre. You will not be recognized by anything. You will just be a guy spinning around. So before you go and you start your company, think about what drives you, what makes you awake at night. It makes all the difference, I guarantee you that. And explore it deeply, because when you do something that you like, you become better than everybody else. You become what the Americans say, a purple cow, right? Everybody talks about you as the guy that knows everything about XXX. So think about it, have a passion and start your company only when you have a passion. Eventually we learned that we were very good at mobile development. And we started to explore mobile development a lot and very deeply. And we got a company from the United States. And we built a billing platform for the United States, the first billing platform that ever happened in the United States. It was an awesome, awesome platform. And we sold our company to that customer. That customer took me to the Silicon Valley, and I came to work for this huge company that had $100 million in annual revenue. This is really hard to get. Those numbers are very difficult. And we failed again. We failed miserably. We could earn $100 million, and we would keep 0 users after the first month. And that was very, very tough because, we showed great numbers to our investors. And then I came back to work with my team, And they were looking at me and looking at the numbers and saying, dude, we're screwed. Like, this is awful. Like, we work for a ghost company. And that's exactly what happened, because we were very good at attracting users, but our wasn't good. Nobody wanted it. So even though we had a lot of money, we failed. And if you have a lot of fake revenue, this is the worst poison of all. It's worse to have $100 million in fake revenue than to have $0. Because if you have $0, you know you gotta still look for something. You know you still didn't find it. But if you have 100 million, you think you got it. You think you're perfect. That's poison. So we learned from that bad revenue makes you blind. You see a spreadsheet with a beautiful graph going to the up and to the right, and everybody's happy. The investors are happy. The CFO is happy. And then the company crashes. It crashes because it stops buying revenue. Buying revenue is when you associate with some affiliate marketing. Some people say that compras coletivas, group buying, is also bad revenue. You bring a lot of users, and then 2 hours later, you look at your restaurant and it's empty again, and they broke a bunch of chairs, right? So bad revenue is worse than crack, because once you start doing that and you start buying a lot of users and your numbers are really, really, really good, if you stop buying users, your numbers decline like crazy. So you can't stop, because your investors are looking at you and they're saying, hey, I want you to keep growing your numbers. Come on, come on, come on. And you end up doing worse and worse and worse. So my advice to you is, if you don't have a lot of revenue in the beginning, don't worry about it. Use it as a lesson that you still have to enhance your product. Don't get desperate and put hundreds and millions of dollars in revenue. It will drive you to a bad place. You can't stop, trust me. Once you start seeing great numbers, people will ask for greater and greater and greater numbers. You can't stop. Finally, we learned and we decided to face the truth. So the company pivoted. Instead of doing ringtones and wallpapers, which was a dead market, we started doing mobile social gaming. So we didn't do $100 anymore. We did 20 million. It was much less, but it was real revenue. And believe it or not, the investors were much happier with 20 million good revenue than with 100 million revenue. And then I was, a little tired of the Silicon Valley, the depression, and a lot of startups were starting to happen in Brazil. Brazil was going through a process. It was 2010, and Brazil was going through a process very similar to what Colombia is doing now. The community is hot. Everybody's talking about startups. Look at this. We have a full house. So Brazil was very hot, and I said, all right, I'm just going to go to Brazil. I'm going to be the Silicon Valley guy that came to Brazil. I'm going to have superpowers, and that's going to be all awesome, right? So, and it was really awesome. I came to Brazil, and the hottest startup hired me, and I was like 1 week in the country, and I got this guys saying, hey, come be our CTO. We're huge. We're going to be Brazilian Netflix. And I was like, awesome, man, Brazilian Netflix. Yeah, I'm going to go, right? Yeah. And everything was doing great at that company. So you guys know Netflix, right? So in the United States, they have two business models. The DVD that you get in your house and online streaming, right? NetMovies has had the same product in Brazil. So we had the DVDs and Blu-rays, and we had online streaming. Then we got one of the hottest investors in the planet. Huge company. Invested a lot of money at NetMovies. And everybody was really, really happy. Like, we had a bunch of money. We were working on the hottest startup. What could go wrong, right? And the investor was saying, accelerate, do more stuff and build more products, go crazy. And we did go crazy. And you can imagine what happened. We failed freaking miserably again. And this was a very important lesson. You know, we were at the top of our game. We believed we conquered the planet, and we failed. We didn't make it because we were blind to the numbers. So you guys know what churn is? So churn is, you know, you have a subscription service. Churn is the number of people that abandon your service every month, right? So we had a physical business that everybody loved. People talked about the DVDs. So we delivered DVDs from São Paulo to 35 cities in Brazil in one day. So you could be on the other side of Brazil. You could get Superman in one day in your house. That's how good was our logistics service. It was perfect. People loved it. But we thought, you know, online is the future, right? So screw that physical stuff. Let's put all our effort on online. Let's build iPhone apps and Android apps and Samsung apps. Let's do everything online. And our numbers were telling us that people didn't want that product. But we just said, you know, they don't want it now. But once we have the iOS app, now they're going to want it. And then we did the iOS app, and they didn't want it. And then we said, okay, it's Android, right? Brazil is like third world. It's not iPhone, it's Android. Let's do Android. And they didn't want it. So it's Xbox. Let's do Xbox because, you know, Xbox. No. We burned all our money building products and licensing movies from Hollywood, which is really expensive. We just couldn't do it. People wanted the DVD service. And we were so in love with the idea of online streaming that we didn't listen. We didn't listen to what people were telling us every day by the numbers. Eventually, we put our numbers on online, and the physical service got bad because there was no more investment. We killed our best product because we thought we wanted to be the online guys. What I learned from that, I learned a lot of stuff from that mistake because that was a big one. That was a big punch. First one was never scale your team until you have product market fit. Until you know exactly what you're doing and who is your customer, don't start hiring people like crazy. Hiring is fun, and fighting sucks. When I was at Net Movies, you know, I was the CTO, right? I had all the power. So I hired all my friends, a bunch of friends. I hired 30 people, 20 of them were my friends. And I was like, hey, come here, this is gonna be amazing. You're gonna work on the hottest startup in the world, and blah, blah, blah. And I fired all my friends. They don't answer my phone anymore. They hate me. Fighting people really, really sucks. If you never did it, you're gonna see it. It's really, really, really bad. And a very, very important lesson that we learned in there was, you know, don't fall in love with your idea. I'm sure your idea is great. You know, I'm sure you don't go to sleep because you keep thinking about that beautiful app with a button here and a button there. But perhaps people don't want your app. Perhaps they want an SMS service. Perhaps they want a website. Perhaps they want a TV application. Don't fall in love with your idea. Fall in love with a market. Fall in love with a problem. Fall in love with an opportunity. And then work your ass off to find the best way to fix that problem. Don't fall in love with the beautiful design. It will get you to fire all your friends like I did. And this from customer development, lean startup, everybody talks about it now. Just listen. Listen to your customer. Pick up the phone and call your user that just churned. Call him and say, hey, I am Luis, CTO of this company. Why did you cancel? If we had done 20 telephone interviews, 20, we would understand that we were on the wrong way. So talk to them. It might seem boring. It might seem like, the stupid guy. He's not going to tell me what to do, right? I am the CEO. Like, I am the strategy guy. Not that guy. That guy is going to teach you how to run a company if you are humble enough to listen. So whether you're beginning, whether you're growing, or whether you're failing, pick up the phone. Ask your customer for a coffee. I guarantee you that after 3 phone interviews, after 3 conversations, you will know double about your business than you know today. I guarantee you that. If you don't, just send me a message and I'll buy you a beer. Next time I'm in Bogotá because I'll be in São Paulo, but eventually I'll buy you a beer. Okay? And then we started, after failing miserably for many, many times, we thought about, why don't we do the opposite, right? Why don't we go and learn why companies fail? Let's spend some time working with entrepreneurs and understanding why they fail, so we can teach other entrepreneurs how not to fail. Guess what happened? This one worked, actually. And it worked not because we're rich, because we're not rich at all. And it worked because we helped people. And as we helped people, I realized that that's what I love to do. So picking up on our friend's presentation, success can mean money for some of you. Success may be that you're famous and everybody knows your name. But for me, success is that I wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning and I go to sleep at 2 a.m. and I absolutely love what I do. That's my success. Go find yours. And we did that using what we learned from the past. So I fell down from the bicycle many, many times in my career. And I don't regret those failures. All those failures helped me build the knowledge that I built to do what I do today. Today I love what I do, and I know how to do it because I failed. Don't be afraid to fail. It's going to be a blessing for you. Final 3 suggestions is that, so first, embrace failure. Celebrate it. We used to have a happy hour every time we failed miserably. And at least it was a happy hour. It was a sad day, but it was a happy hour. And, we got to teach about it, and we got to congratulate ourselves from taking the risk. If we never took the risk, we would never learn anything. We would be just those guys in the corner doing code. So accept failure as part of your career. When you're old and you look back, you're not going to regret it. You're going to look at this with a warm heart, I guarantee you. Learn from other people's mistakes as well. Because it's good to fail, that you should go and repeat everybody's mistakes, right? Some mistakes are just mistakes. So enjoy that you're in an event like this, and a bunch of guys are being really honest here and talking about failure. Learn from that as well. Talk to people. Talk to people, not only people that are doing good. Talk to people that failed. And ask them, why did you fail? Why do you think your company failed? Those guys will give you a lot of hints, and you don't have to fail all by yourself. Use everybody's failures. That's crowdsourcing of failures, right? Never relax. Never, never, never relax until you understand what is the product that your people want to buy. It's very easy for you to, you build your MVP, website is kind of working, and then you sit down with your team and you say, hey, I have this list of 30 features. Let's do all these features, right? It's going to be cool. Let's go to a bunch of events and let's go raise money. And it's very easy to get distracted from product market fit because this is hard work. Like, this is not as fun as coming to an event and showing your website. This means talking to customers, looking at metrics, failing miserably, never relax. Never relax until you get to this point. Thank you, and keep failing.